The following is an interview with Spudsamaa, a streamer on Twitch who has been doing streaming for 6 years. He has 1100 followers so far, and on average on his streams he has between 8 and 15 viewers. Spudsamaa is 30 years old, he is from New Hampshire, USA, and he works as a security technician, installing and maintaining security equipment. Here is my conversation with Spudsamaa. So, with the followers and the viewers on average that you currently have, are you satisfied with those numbers? And if not, how big of a streamer do you want to be?
I mean, I'm satisfied with those numbers. I of course want to be like one of the big time streamers, but I'm putting in the work, getting the people showing up, and just the consistency for me is all that really matters.
What made you want to pick up streaming?
Back in the day, me and my buddies would play Overwatch as a whole 5-person team, and we would we would just have dumb, witty banter, and people thought it was funny, and they said, "Hey, you should stream," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll give it a shot."
What are some of the things you wish to accomplish from streaming?
The big one is getting a solid community of people, just like good, hardworking, chill people. Um, and other than that, it's just hang out and have fun with people. Let's make content, make people laugh.
What do you like most and the least about streaming?
Least about it would it overall would have to be platform politics, with all of Twitch going and getting real money grubby. You got Kick backtracking on their post that they made about how they were going to pay everybody, no matter how big or small, some kind of hourly thing. It's platform politics is such a pain. But what I like most about it, the diversity of the community, is like I can go to one person's stream and they're just chilling out playing Stardew. It's nice and relaxed. They raid off to someone from their community, and all of a sudden, I'm watching Mortal Kombat.
Do you want streaming to be your career?
I'd like it to be, but at this point in time, it's just not feasible.
Do you consider streaming a job, a hobby, a passion, or a project?
It's a passion. I I like to uh, get home, just jump on the computer because I'm already playing games anyway. So why not stream the game I'm playing with just the dumb banter?
Hmm. What is your current streaming schedule and why that schedule?
So currently, my streaming schedule is only on Sundays. It used to be 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but with the job I've got right now, the hours are too inconsistent. There's days where I'll get home early at like 2. There's days I'll get home later at 7. So it's kind of hard to nail down a schedule during the weekdays. So right now it's just every Sunday, since I'm always home, and then random pop-up streams during the week.
And if at some point streaming does become your career, what schedule would you have then?
I'd say if it does become my career, I'd aim to do 2 streams a day. Start one off in the earlier hours for, I don't know, like 8 to 1 p.m., and then a couple hours of reprieve, and then do a 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. stream for the later crowd in the Pacific group,
And
and then probably do that twice a day,
okay,
5 times.
and if you could stream for shorter or longer without any change to your desired growth or viewership, which would you choose and why?
Hmm. That's a toughie. I'm not too sure about that.
Hmm. All right, that's fine. Approximately how long do you think it will take to become successful as a streamer?
So that is a loaded question. That it depends on the person, the type of content. Um, I've seen people just absolutely blow up in less than a year. There's people who 10 plus years on and they're still struggle bussing. So I if I had to guess, I for me and the kind of content I make, it probably will take a little while. I'd say probably like 3 years putting in solid effort.
Hmm.
Um, mainly because of the fact that it's only on Twitch and discoverability there is an absolute joke. So gotta start branching out to a bunch of other stuff like YouTube Shorts and TikToks, Instagram Reels, etc.
Yeah. What types of obstacles do you think are going to be the hardest to overcome?
Time. Time is always going to be the biggest obstacle to overcome just because there's days where, get back from work early. I say I'm going to go have a stream, but then I get some random things that pop up that I have to take care of. And sooner or later, it's like 6, 7 o'clock at night and I don't have the time.
And aside from time with your work, do you even have the energy to do the streams?
Yeah, so energy's not really a big problem for me. I can always bring the energy if I need to. I just need to have that little decompression time between getting home from work and streaming. Because that right there, even just an hour of time, brings my energy back up to full and ready to go and just jump right into whatever we're playing that day.
Hmm. Are there any instances where you feel you should have started streaming sooner?
I am gonna go ahead and say no. I feel like I started my streaming journey at the right time, just because prior to that, um, it was all RPG titles and slow paced games, and to me that doesn't seem like something that would be good content. Like, for example, like Asmongold, he's only streams WoW, but he's only streamed WoW for a hell of a long.
Hmm.
So just starting out, that's not too feasible. So I think I started at the right time, starting with when Overwatch 1 came out.
And if you could go back in time to when you just started streaming and do it all over again, would you do anything differently this time?
Oh, absolutely. I took multiple very extended breaks for what seems now completely trivial reasons. As well as I decided to try switching to YouTube for a year at one point, and I only did streams to YouTube, so that was an absolute miscalculation. If I was going to do that again, I'd just stick on Twitch and get real get real good at uploading shorts and clipping stuff from the VODs and putting it to YouTube. I would definitely redo how I've done some stuff.
How is Twitch better than YouTube for streamers?
Hmm. So I think Twitch is a little bit better than YouTube for streaming, just because you can easily go into the categories. It's a little bit easier from at least my point of view to navigate. It does have a little bit less discoverability than YouTube, because with YouTube, you've got those videos already there. It'll push it to people, whereas Twitch, you just have your VODs page, and it the platform itself doesn't really push um, post recorded content. It's only for active live content, but it's got better engagement as far as I'm concerned. the creator side of things you can do a lot more with from the I guess the security standpoint. Um, Bigger library of emotes, stuff like that. It's basic stuff, but I think it goes a long way on Twitch versus the stuff that they've got going on YouTube.
Hmm. If you could no longer stream video games, would you still stream something else?
Oh, absolutely. I stream some random stuff. I stream games. I stream like hell. Tomorrow I'm doing a cooking stream just for fun.
Hmm.
Anything that I think would be funny content can be streamed. Doesn't necessarily need to be games.
Let me ask you this. Having streamed for as long as you have, if you had to start over again, like from scratch, would you still do it?
Ooh, start over from scratch at my age right now. That's if I had to put an answer to that, I would say no. Just because I don't have another 6 years to sink into it.
Yeah, that makes sense. How about this? If you could give up streaming to live a successful life, would you do it?
How are we defining successful life?
Well, it's whatever you want it to be.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and say no, just because I've met a bunch of really cool people through streaming, and I wouldn't give up those interactions for anything.
Hmm. Before you took up streaming, did you read up on any advice for streaming? If so, what was that advice and did it help?
I did not look up any advice, so I started streaming because we were on PlayStation, and someone just said you should stream. I just immediately hit the stream button through PlayStation.
Hmm.
Didn't look up advice. Didn't look up any how tos, any basics. Probably would have been a good idea, but hindsight's 2020.
Okay. And you said that to grow bigger, one needs to upload his stuff to YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, perhaps. So,
Yeah, so the cross pollination is a big thing. So if you're just sticking with like even Kick, if you're just sticking on streaming on Kick and streaming on Twitch, you're not going to be getting as much growth as someone who's streaming the exact same stuff as you for the exact same duration on the exact same platform, who is also taking their content, making shorts with it, putting it to YouTube Shorts, putting it on Instagram Reels, putting it on TikTok. Having that secondary media is a massively important thing.
the thing with that is that would require one to edit their videos. So, my
Yes,
question is, would you consider editing your videos a chore?
it depends on the video. If it's something that I strictly recorded with the intent of making it easy to edit, it's a real fast process. If I'm taking something like, let's say, a 2 hour long stream, and I've got no markers for any of the jokes that landed, then absolutely having to scrub 2 hours worth of footage multiple times to not just find the bits that are funny, but then also try and turn that 2 hour stream into a 10-minute video. It can be a bit of a chore at some time.
Yeah. Which is more important to you from viewers? Lurking, chatting, subbing, or donating?
So I like when people are chatting, just because it gives me another thing to comment about and interact with. But lurkers are like the backbone of the platform. There's so many people who will just jump into a stream and lurk. Like maybe they'll say, "Hey, I'm lurking," but more often than not, like you got a lot of people who just sort of jump in and they want to watch and just relax, not have to talk. And and such. So I'd say lurkers are definitely number one on the list, and then chatters are definitely number two. I like a community that's interactive.
What do you feel your main appeal as a streamer is? And if you were able to add to that appeal, what would you choose to add?
Ooh, that's a good question. Main appeal would probably just be I play a lot of multiplayer games with whoever wants to play, and we just have the whole point's just have a fun time and relax with your online buddies.
Hmm.
And to build on that, I don't know. I'd say probably I don't know. That's a tough one. I'd say maybe get more days where we just jump in Discord with the community and play games with them. Because as it is right now, it's only like once every week or so.
And apart from not having enough time, is there anything else hindering you from being more successful as a streamer? Perhaps something you would like to change?
Hmm. I think for me personally, it's just the lack of time. Um, just because not having time makes it hard to figure out what you're streaming for the week, when you're streaming. It makes it hard to edit your videos, create clips. So I think that's the biggest threat is time, and there's really nothing else that gets close to it.
Do you feel comfortable streaming? And if yes, how long did it take you to find that place of comfort?
Oh yeah, I absolutely feel comfortable streaming. I felt comfortable the first minute I went live. I'm an introvert by nature, so doing something where I'm not standing in front of physical people, sitting in front of a camera. I feel comfortable as rain.
Hmm. I've interviewed about 10 or 13 streamers so far, and most, if not all of them, turned out to be introverts. For
Yeah,
some,
it's a big thing. It's hard for us introverts to just go out and talk to people. So having that medium between us as the camera or webcam, whatever, it's a massive help.
a lot of them, though, they didn't feel comfortable streaming to begin with. Some of them, it took even years to become comfortable. So, what advice would you give to someone who just started streaming? They are an introvert, they have zero viewers, nobody is in their text chat, nobody is in their voice chat, and they don't really know what to talk about in that situation. What advice would you give?
Number one, turn off the viewer count. I haven't streamed with a viewer count for years. It's going to be the number one challenge to you while you're actively streaming, constantly looking over and seeing viewer count zero. So turn it off. Get rid of it. Don't even pay attention to it. And if you don't know what to talk about, well, I honestly don't know what you're doing because you're playing a game. Comment about the game. Comment about what you're watching. You don't have to you don't have to force yourself to be funny. You can just make observations, like playing through a game and some character in the game says something funny. You can make a joke on the spot about what that piece of dialogue was, or if you find a bug and some weird happens. There's plenty of ways to talk to a dead chat and not rack your mental health about it.
Hmm. One of the streamers I interviewed told me that being entertaining on stream, being an entertainer, is a skill that you can develop. Do you think it is
Yeah,
a skill?
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Um, there's people who are born entertainers, and then there's people who they have to work their way up to it. They have to learn, figure out what like the tropes and stuff are, and it's definitely a learnable, teachable skill. if you get into streaming, especially if you're not very entertaining, like by nature.
Hmm. What is your biggest fear about being a streamer?
Hmm. I'd say my biggest fear about being a streamer. Oh man, I've never actually thought about that. Hmm. Okay. I'd say my biggest fear is probably, I wake up one day and uh it's just over. Like I get if I do some dumb shit and get canceled for it, or like people misread a take and I get canceled for it. Like if you just wake up and go, well, not streaming anymore.
Hmm. Are there any insecurities you feel as a streamer?
Nothing to do with streaming, no, but plenty of insecurities.
All right. And do you feel that the individual nature of streaming can potentially harm society? Why or why not?
Can you elaborate on that?
Well,
Like just streaming as a media form, or
streamers tend to stay at home a lot. They play video games, they don't socialize in real life. So,
okay,
some.
gotcha.
Mhm.
Hmm. So in this day and age where we've got as much online shopping and video calls, etc., I feel like it's not that impactful. But let's say when let's talk when like first like Twitch first dropped, something like that. If there was a bunch of people, like as many people now on the platform back in the day, I could definitely see that being a problem. But with everything being so accessible, everything and everyone being so accessible over technology, I don't see it being any kind of drawback on personal skills, society, or economy.
Hmm. Let me ask you this then. Do you feel that online communication, like talking to people in chat or in voice chat, is a good enough substitute for real life communication, especially for introverts?
So the way I'm gonna put this, it it's not any it's not any kind of substitution. You're you're still, you know, alive. It's a real life conversation. It's just not a face to face conversation. It's not like I'm talking with seven people in chat that are all AI bots. I'm talking with someone who's flesh blood, just sitting behind a different medium,
Mhm.
just like us right now.
Hmm. How do you balance real life and your streaming life?
Oh God, I don't. It's all just one big chaotic mess.
Hmm.
But usually it's with a copious amount of napping.
Mhm. Approximately how much time off stream do you invest in thinking about streaming?
So I try and make it a point to at least spend 4, 5 hours a week trying to come up with ideas, trying to plan something that'll be funny, um, gauging audience on Twitter and etc. with polls, being like, "Hey, well, what do we want? What are we thinking for the next kind of stream? Like, what? Give me a genre or something like that." So I'd say 4 to 5 hours
Mhm.
of just planning and kind of stuff like that, but more if I'm editing a video.
For some people, streaming can be a positive influence on their life. Like it can give you more discipline, more purpose, a routine, and stuff to do, keep you active, productive. So, my question is, has streaming helped you balance your life in any way?
Yes, definitely. So I having a schedule nailed down for me was always difficult. So back when I started having that, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, this time behind the computer, you're streaming. That's it. That's a fact. It makes things easier rather than coming home and going, okay, I don't know what's happening for the rest of the day. having that regimented schedule makes things so much easier,
Hmm.
because then you can take that and put it into other practice somewhere else. Like you can set up things with your IRL friends nearby. You can say, all right, so after I get out of work, I got this, then I got to do the grocery store, then I got to do all these chores, and it's a crucial skill, and streaming definitely has helped with that.
Do you have an ideal age group for your audience? If so, what is it and why?
I'd say my age group is definitely the 21 to like 35 crowd. The we're we're old, but we're not like boomers, and we're young, but we're not, Tide Poddy. It's that nice little gap of people who appreciate that weird kind of what's the word I'm looking for? That weird kind of like generational gap humor. The stuff that if we told the joke to our parents right now, they'd look at us like we're weird, and if we told it to a kid in middle school, he'd call us a loser.
Yeah. What sort of setup do you have? PC or laptop? How many screens?
Uh,
Camera or no camera, and why?
I have a full tower, 4 screens. I have one to play my game on, one to monitor OBS, one to monitor chat, and the other one always runs diagnostic software while I'm streaming, so I can see my services, my processors, the usage and capacity of my resources on my computer.
Hmm.
And for a camera, I use a physical camera, a Sony A6100 hooked up into a graphics card.
Okay, let me ask you this. Some streamers use a camera, some don't. Some use VTubing. What do you think the appeal is of having a camera? What do you think the advantage is?
So the advantage of having a camera is it's the best way to put it is let's say you don't like hot sauce, and you do something, you have to take a shot of hot sauce. The advantage of a camera is people can like see you wincing,
Hmm.
and that to them provides more entertainment value than, let's say, an avatar or a PNG tuber that is just sort of like flailing around on the screen, or if they don't even have a camera at all. So a camera is definitely better for engagement with the audience, just because they can see your face, see your reaction to things, rather than just hear that you're shocked or hear that you're unhappy. Um, but it's also not necessary. There's plenty of people who are VTubers, plenty of people who are no cams. It's it's more about the energy you bring than the camera you got.
Hmm. What games do you stream and why those types of games?
Oh God. Can all of the above be an answer? Because I stream almost everything.
Hmm.
It's a lot of right now, at least it's a lot of golf with my friends. We picked up Goose Goose Duck. It's mainly a lot of multiplayer stuff, and that's my go to, just because we've got a ton of people in my community who, when I say, hey, we're doing this on stream today, who wants to play, they'll all be like, oh hell yeah, I'll join for a bit, I'll do this, I'll do this. But having the multiplayer games be the forte is it's easy content. You're playing with your buddies, you're just chatting like normal, and bam, free content from them.
I guess you have already answered my next question, but let me ask you anyway. Do you feel that multiplayer games help make your streams more appealing, more entertaining, or just easier to produce?
So definitely all of the above. It makes it really easy to produce because I don't have to sit there and just talk to the voices in my head
Hmm.
and say them out loud. I can talk to someone from, I don't know, Iceland, who's playing Goose Goose Duck with us, and we can just have witty banter back and forth. It definitely makes things a lot more interactive as well. Because if someone is just sitting in chat and I guess my buddy says something to me, that'll prompt them to type in chat, "Hey, tell your buddy this," or "Why'd your buddy ask that?" So it gets people talking.
Hmm.
So I would definitely say it makes things a lot easier.
Hmm. If you could stream whatever games you wanted and still gain the same viewership and following, would you play many games, a few, or just one?
It would definitely still be a ton of games, but the genre would quickly switch over to RPGs.
Hmm.
I do love me some RPGs.
Okay. What do you think the formula of success is for streaming? What must one do to be successful?
Number one, you need to be engaging. Nobody watches people who don't talk to chat or don't even attempt to make a don't even attempt to make an effort. Like you've got those big streamers who chat is flying by a mile a second. And even they still make an attempt to try and quickly read chat. So if you're just sitting there, not saying a word, not talking, not responding to anybody who's typing in your chat, that's going to be a number one problem.
Anything else? Any other uh, points on the to do list to be successful?
Mm. Yeah, I'm thinking about a couple. So there's that. Play what you want. Don't play what the fad is. Just because, let's say, a new Call of Duty drop, and you decide you're more Stardew Valley player, but you're not getting a lot of views. You're gonna try and think, okay, well maybe if I stream Call of Duty, if I stream this new game, I'm gonna get more viewers, I'm gonna get more followers. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not gonna happen because you've got those already established people who are picking up that game because out of their audience of 60,000 followers, even if 1% comes to watch them play that new game, you're getting buried by an avalanche of people with vastly higher view counts than you. So play what you want to play what makes you happy, play what is fun for you, because then it's easier for you to make content. And no camera is fine. That's another one. No camera is fine. But I think those are the biggest two: is be interactive and play what you want. Like don't like be yourself. Pretty much just be yourself on a camera.
Hmm. Would you advise other people to take up streaming? Why or why not?
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially if you're an introvert. It makes it helps you learn skills that would require otherwise going outside and talking to people.
Mm.
So I definitely recommend that people pick up streaming.
And would you tell aspiring new streamers that streaming is easy or hard and why?
Oh, I'm not one for sugarcoating. I'm gonna tell them it's difficult, and I'm gonna tell them exactly what I just said about being engaging, etc. The fact that outside of um, putting all your stuff out on multiple platforms, Twitch is going to be a massive grind. I'm gonna give them all the facts up front. Then they can make an informed decision.
Hmm. What was your first streaming experience like? Was it good or bad?
As far as I recall, it was good. We were just playing Overwatch trios, just sitting in the garage, and I think we had a fun time. We got a few people who came in, chatted, but it was enough to get me hooked.
Hmm. Do you have any stories of overcoming difficulties and succeeding as a streamer?
Um, no real stories. More fights with hardware. I have had plenty fights with hardware where the computer worked just fine, and then the next day I go to stream and well, my Ethernet port's broken, so I can't.
Hmm. What is the most important thing to you about maintaining a community?
The people and the connections. That is the most important thing, hands down. Like if you have a community, you want to surround yourself with kind, caring, empathetic, just overly awesome people. You don't want to sit in a room with someone who's just being an asshole to every single other person. So it's absolutely the people in the community.
What would you change about streaming if you could? Like if you were in charge of Twitch, for example.
If I was in charge of Twitch, for example, oh Lord. Um Number one thing I would change is the revenue system, just because it's the biggest gripe with every single person who creates content on there. Like all these places have way better rev shares. Like YouTube's got a better rev share. TikTok, IG, Snapchat even has rev share for some people, but that's the big thing I would change, because as you saw, the mass migration from Twitch to Kick, all because of the revenue share change. But that would be the first thing I would switch up. I'd put it back to 60-40 instead of 70-30. So creators get a bigger cut from their subs. I would get rid of the whole Twitch charging a portion of your bits, because when I saw that, oof, I was chuffed. I was not happy when I saw they were coming after bits.
And during the years you were a streamer, have you had any negative experiences that made you want to quit streaming for a day, or maybe read chat less, or maybe even quit streaming indefinitely?
So there was a hate raid I had at one point, small one, none of these massive ones, but it was uncomfortable for everybody involved, and it made me go on a solid 2 week hiatus. Just to, number one, forget it happened, and number two, trying to find a way during that 2 week break for it to not happen again.
Hmm. Would you have any advice for somebody, for a streamer, to not take things personally? I mean, how does one do that?
Um, I'd like to say you just brush it off, but you don't. It we're all people. So if someone says something on stream and it just really resonates with the bad thoughts, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta take that time off from stream. Just focus on yourself. Focus on your own mental health. It, there's some people that'll just go into it with a thick skin and laugh off whatever gets said, but at the end of the day, when they turn off that camera, you can bet that it's stuck with them.
Hmm.
So you're never going to be able to shake everything off. But from that, you just got to take the time that you need post stream, or even cancel the stream just to take time for you to focus on your own mental health, and just, for lack of better words, disregard anything they say.
Hmm. If you could advertise your Twitch channel anywhere, where would it be?
Hmm. I feel like it would be funny if I just painted all over the main interstate and it just says twitch.tv/Spudsamaa. It would be funny as all hell.
Hmm.
Either that or right underneath the board with all the lottery numbers. That would be perfect spot.
Is there anything you avoid doing as a streamer because it isn't your strength?
Yeah, so definitely the biggest thing I avoid at this point is FPS games like Call of Duty and Apex, just because those have a tendency to bring out the worst in me. And when that happens, my mind can go blank at some point, and I may end up saying something that one should not say in any company, let
Mhm.
alone pleasant or unpleasant.
Hmm.
So I've just made it a point to even just for my own mental health, to cut FPS games out of everything.
Hmm. If your channel was immediately beyond successful, what changes do you think you would make, if any?
Um, I would definitely upgrade my computer because, good God, it is it has got both feet in the grave and it's still clinging and trying to stay alive. But I would definitely improve the setup first, just so that way games aren't continuously crashing on me. The PC's not overheating. Um, and then after that, I might just improve the stream room, improve the backdrop, improve the lighting, something to just boost the quality of the streams.
If you could do anything with whatever authority you gain from streaming, what would it be?
I'd like to say that I peaked with that. Uh, there was a couple PAX Easts ago, a gaming convention down over by us. I was at one of the after parties, and we were just standing in line, me and a total of like 100 and some odd people. And you know that "ho yeah" meme?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. So essentially, someone says, "Can I get a ho yeah?"
Hmm.
Funny as all hell. Um, I did that, and I got every single person to give me a "ho yeah," and I think I've that is the limit right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm. If you were having a tough time in the game and wanted to end the stream, but your community begged you to continue playing, maybe on lower difficulty, or maybe change games instead, would you do it?
Um, so my community likes to see me suffer. They would never tell me to lower the difficulty.
Hmm.
But no, I'd stick with it. The only times I'd call it a day is if it was it was already a bad day for me and the game's just making it worse. But other than that, if I lose 12, 13, 100 times in a row, as long as I can have fun while I'm losing, I quit off.
Hmm. And provided the opportunity, what are some of the things you would want to inform your audience of to make the world a better place?
Number one, ELE. Everybody love everybody. Stealing right off of Tropic Thunder, not Tropic Thunder. What is it? Hot Tropics. That's the one. But yeah, ELE. Everybody love everybody. Number two, just don't be a dink. Like, in your head when you're thinking of saying something, if it's making you go, I that would sound like an asshole if I heard it. Don't say it. Like, it's that old. You got nothing nice to say, then keep your comments in your pocket. No one needs to hear.
Mm.
And don't tear people down, because I've seen plenty of people on Twitch, Twitter, etc., wherever one of their friends is getting better than them, bigger than them, and they stir up shit. They stir the pot to try and bring them back down to their level. Just don't do that. Be a nice person. Don't be an asshole. Everybody knows when you're being an asshole.
What were some of the pressures you faced from your fellow streamers?
I haven't really faced much pressure from my fellow streamers. I've got friends who are way bigger than me. I've got people who, um, when we started being friends, they weren't super popular, and then now they're as big as me. Like, it's all healthy competition. There's no real pressures on this from any of the people I've had the pleasure to play with on Twitch.
Right. Okay, some of the closing questions then. If you suddenly had $1 million, how would that change your life? Would that affect your streaming?
Ooh, yeah, it definitely affects streaming. Number one, I'd get to pay out of all the debt I'm in. Number two, switch to a two PC setup. Have high-end graphics card on one, high-end CPU on the other, so it would make the encoding and video super smooth. Um, get a little house, set up an actual dedicated stream room on my own property. It would be a lot would go into content, and on top of that, um, whatever was left over outside of all my normal stuff, it's going right to charity. So
Hmm. Okay. Are there any other questions you felt that I should have asked you but didn't?
no, you actually asked a lot of good questions. I think you hit every nail that needed to be hit.
Wonderful. And then, do you have any closing thoughts? Something that you would like our viewers to know about streaming? Something that would help them along, like new aspiring streamers?
New and aspiring streamers, don't fall for the follow for follow trap, support for support trap. If someone says, "Oh, hey, I'll follow you if you follow me," don't do it. Don't do it. You're gonna get unfollowed anyway. You want to you want natural follows. You want natural subs. You want natural everything. Don't do these nonsense follow for follow trains. Sure, you might meet one or two persons that are cool, but I can guarantee you everyone's in it for himself. No one's showing up to your stream. Earn those follows. Earn those subs.
Hmm. Final question. What is the one thing in your life that you feel most fortunate to have? What is the one thing that makes you feel lucky?
Ooh, the one thing that makes me feel lucky. I don't think anything's made me feel lucky. I would. Oh no, I'm gonna go ahead and say my life
Hmm.
because back in high school I almost died in a car accident. So if I did, I wouldn't be here. I'd say I'm lucky to have that.
Hmm. All right. That is all my questions. And you had some interesting answers. I liked it. So thank you for this
Okay.
interview.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
All right. I will see you on Twitch.
Perfect. See you later. Have a good night
Thank
or
you.
morning. Not sure.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Have a good one.
Thanks, man.